Hello everybody, my name is SJC1080 and welcome back to another Hypixel Skyblock video. Today I'm going to be going over how to one-shot Zealots with Young Dragon Armor. And if you guys have seen my last video, got a lot of comments about a lot of stuff, so I'm going to cover that stuff too, along with Reforges, enchantments, and all that other stuff. Before I get started, only 0.1% of you guys are subscribed, so subscribe. So, like I said in the last video, this method is pretty early, fairly early game. Well, it's early game and mid game because you have to get your combat level pretty high. You can do it in early game. Yes, it is possible, but it will just take you an incredibly long time to do. I prefer doing it late early game or right when you get into mid game. Anytime you can get your aspect of the end. With a lot of enchantments, then you can start grinding mobs. So a few easy ways to get the combat XP. I made a video on this a few weeks ago. You can set up mob grinders like this one. You can also do combat minions. So now you have your combat situation dealt with. Depending on which method you do, you'll still have a little bit of time. If you have the money, if you don't have the money, you can just go get some from whatever stage of the game you're at. Just Google, or you go onto YouTube and just check the stage of the game you're in and money making methods. You're going to want to get an epic sheep pet, at least an epic sheep pet. Sheeps will reduce your mana cost, which is what you want because you have the aspect of the dragons and you use that ability a ton. Usually the ability costs 100, but with the sheep pet, it only costs 90. Well, that's when it's level 50. You can also use the epic or legendary Enderman pet to get higher chances for a Zealot to spawn. But then again, the legendary Endermen are pretty hard to find and really hard to buy because they're pretty expensive. You can also use a lion. That'll get your damage up a tiny bit. I wouldn't recommend any of these other ones. The griffin may work a little bit. So once you get your sheep pet, you can level it up by collecting alchemy XP. You can just farm beetroot, I believe. I think that counts towards alchemy. So you can also just brew potions, then sell the potions for a little bit more money. After you get that stuff out of the way, you're going to want to get onto a very big grind. Because, as a few people have said, the prices of young dragon armor have skyrocketed. Because right now on bin, the boots alone are 180,000, and if you're just starting out on the game, that's a pretty big price. And the next armor piece you'll get is a chest plate, which is 300,000. That's already way more than I paid for the whole entire set, and you still have to get the pants. You can also buy them from the bazaar, or you can just dragon farm, which is not worth it. You're going to want to get your young dragon armor. That may take a little bit depending on what stage of the game you're in and how effective your money-making method is. So right now, you've got most of the stuff, but you still have your aspect at the end, or whatever sword you have. You're going to want to get the aspect of the dragons. I was lucky enough to get mine for 20,000 coins off the auction house. Right now, the aspect of the dragons are only going for about 100,000, which actually isn't that much in really any stage of the game. Even on bin, it's 1,000,000. That's a lot, but you can still get that if you want to guarantee your chances. I would recommend sniping auctions, as many as you can. Now you've got all your stuff. One accessory that I would recommend is a personal compactor, so you can compact all the ender pearls that you get, because cells drop ender pearls for some reason. Now you have all of your gear. Now you need to enchant it and reforge it. For the aspect of the dragons, I settled with the heroic, because that'll give you more intelligence and more attack speed. I also got critical 5, ender slayer 5, experience 2, first strike 4, giant killer 5, lethality 5, and sharpness 5. I mainly went for all the damage because I have a god pot right now, and you can one-tap them with all these enchantments. So you're going to have to go to your personal island and set up a enchantment table with max books so you can actually get these enchantments, because you can't get them on the normal hub. Now you have your weapon completely situated. I went to a sharp aspect at the end because teleporting is kind of useful. I have all those enchantments. I've used this sword for a really long time. I also have Wise on all of my uh, dragon armor. So I have more intelligence. More intelligence, the better. More intelligence means more mana. More mana means you can use this ability more often. I also have, I'm trying to get protection 5 on all of my armor, as well as growth 5. So that basically settles all the reforges and enchantments. You can also go into the auction house and get a god pot. That'll help a ton, especially with the speed, jump boost, and the damage. You don't really have to use the ability. You can also use ultimate wise on anything you can do it on, because that will help you tremendously in with all the mana it'll give you. Once you get down to the dragon's nest, you're going to want to basically just run around, right-clicking. It should instant kill the zealot. There is an event where it will make the mobs have twice as much health, I think. That's a little bit avoidable, but you have to do a lot of damage to do so. Just go around. If your lobby's full, I suggest rejoining. It's not really worth not having zealots, but if there's a few people and you're away from them, so you get the zealots right when they spawn, you don't have to worry about the other people, but when it starts to become an issue, you're going to want to start finding another lobby. Now that you can't reforge your accessories anymore, this is actually, compared to the other options, is really, really affordable because even though prices have skyrocketed in the auction house, you can still get this stuff for pretty cheap and a lot cheaper than what all your other stuff costs. Compared to the Frozen Nun, I can't never pronounce it. It's completely worth it. It's a good way to get money. It's still a really reliable method, even though the prices of so many guys are like 700 or 600,000 now. When you're first starting out, that's a huge amount, especially if you get multiple. All the eyes are put in. There's a chance to get an unstable dragon. I think only the unstable dragons can do this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they can spawn a ton of zealots. And this, it's crowd control, so you can hit many zealots with this one click of a button. That will wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps this channel out a ton. And make sure to go check out my other videos if you're struggling in the game. Thanks for watching.